Hi, welcome back to Channel 6 TV here on Community Focus. I'm Kenny Fogel, your host. We're going to talk about the Citizens Police Academy. And again, you may know a little bit about it. Well, Lynn's going to tell us a bit more. Lynn Potter's here with us. And Lynn, you've actually participated in that last year, didn't you?
I have, and I really enjoyed it. I really learned a lot more than I thought I was going to learn. They really did a good job. The police officers really did a good job with putting together. It was very carefully thought out about each segment. So it was about 6 workshops in all.
So do you feel like you know more about the police side of the story than you did before you went in? Or
I do. I do. So they had a lot of different guest speakers come in and talk to us. So the first time that we went, I went with a friend.
Yeah.
And the first time that we went, they took us on a tour of the courthouse, and we got a tour of the police department, both county and city. And it was just very interesting to see all the ins and outs of the courthouse, where they hold people before they come before the judge.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just this little tno area in this room where it seems like it almost looks like a holding cell.
Yeah, we don't want to go there.
No.
No.
So that was a neat aspect. And then in the basement of the sheriff's office, there also is a wall that is a tribute to Jason Ellis.
Oh, really?
It was very touching, you just kind of,
Yeah.
you felt moved all over again and just reminiscing about whatever happened to him.
Yeah. Well, whatever I learned about, what little bit I know about the academy, I know they teach you when the call comes in through the dispatcher, through the investigation, they sort of take you through an entire crime all the way through the court process. So by the time you walk out of there, you know a little bit more than the average person does anyway.
Yes, we got the dispatcher, Milt Spalding. He talked to us, and we actually also went down and saw where they, answer the phones and the 911 calls come in. And so that was another aspect of it. And then I don't really remember the order that it went in.
Yeah.
But we did have Detective Snow come and talk about some of his homicide cases, and the scenes that he showed were pretty grisly.
Really?
And one of the things that I can remember is he had talked about a body that was found that had been there for quite a while. It was inside a house or some residence, and they couldn't tell whether it was a suicide or a homicide or what happened. So it took a lot of investigating, and the body had already started to, when you're decomposing, it was in stages of decomposing.
Yeah.
So it turned out, I think it was natural causes, but you don't know when you come into something like that.
Absolutely. So you have to have a little tough stomach to go through this course, maybe a little bit, if you want to.
Oh, they warn you ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I guess what I'm saying is you have to know ahead of time. When you're dealing with police business, it's not all pretty.
Oh, absolutely. The coroner also spoke and showed us some photos about what he does in a normal, part of his job. So those are some things I remembered.
What made you want to do this?
Well, we interact with the police. The Family Resource interacts with the police department. So I just figured that interacting with the police, I kind of wanted to see, delve into a little bit more about what they do.
Yeah. I know a lot of people out there have misconceptions. They watch a 2-hour show on TV or something of that nature, and they say, well, the police they either have a come away saying the police are great heroes, or they don't, or they're just big and bad, and they don't just know. But it's a whole lot more to it than the average person could ever imagine in real life.
Yes, and one of the things I remember too is they talked about the distance a police officer needs to have when he's investigating. You have to have a respectable distance between yourself and the person that you're investigating, because if you're gonna, if you could be in line of fire, you know, the other person you don't know has a gun on them and they could pull a gun. So, and it's often hard for them to remain that distance away, you know, so.
Well, there's a lot, like I say, a lot you got to do. Did you get tased while you were there, or you're already
No, they did a whole section on tasing.
Yeah, I don't want no
and
part
what
of
it
it.
takes. And man, I mean, every police officer has to be tased. They go through that, and yeah, it really makes you think. I would not, want to have anything like that done to me ever. I'll cooperate.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's the tasing part of it. I think I want to stay away from that. So again, you know, you get a different perspective when you come away. Is it something you think you'd ever want to do again? Or you think you pretty much picked up most of what you needed to learn?
I think mainly the reason why I wanted to come on and talk is because I think it's a great opportunity, and that more people need to take the course that's coming up again. It's a 6-week course, and I really would encourage them to. It's fascinating, all the aspects. So you go over. You also go over. They went over active shooter, like if there was say if you were in a public place and somebody was to start shooting. And so there's a whole section on that. Of course, the canine officers, they demonstrated with the canine dogs what they do when they're trying to investigate drugs. And you don't want to mess with those canine dogs either. And so they have to when they do these demonstrations, they have to put on this whole full bodysuit, because those dogs, they want any chance to bite that they can.
They mean business.
They also bring in different things that they show how, when they have to investigate for drugs and they're going into someone's home, about how people actually hide drugs in different containers that you would never imagine. If you were going through the kitchen cabinet and you know, were to look and you think it's an actual can or box of something, that it actually might have like a special compartment on it where drugs are hidden.
That salt shaker might not be so innocent.
Right, and in the refrigerator, the same thing. They even showed a bottled water, an actual bottled water that had been somehow made where it looked totally normal, but it had a piece on the bottom that came, you know, unscrewed and contained some drugs. So active shooter, Detective Snow, the coroner, we had Judge Kelly come and talk about the court system, the canine, where people hide drugs, and
that's a lot to pack into 6 weeks.
Oh, there's definitely a lot, yeah. But it's never a dull moment. I mean,
imagine.
I was very interested the whole time. I don't think there wasn't anything that I didn't think was interesting.
And you get a certificate and everything at the end, or what?
Did.
So you graduate.
I did. I got a certificate, and we received a really nice travel mug, and I'm trying to remember what else. They fed us a nice light refreshments.
Yeah. Well, again, you said you got some coming up, another class coming up, starting sometime in October, I believe. And
Yes.
So, and every Monday night, I believe.
If they're going to do it the same way it was
think
on
so.
Monday nights, and it lasts. I think it was 6 to 8 that it was, and sometimes it went a little bit over because they're pretty generous with wanting to make people feel comfortable and take little breaks now and then.
So you're a satisfied consumer. You think this is well worth your time?
Absolutely. I am. One of the things I regret that I didn't get a chance to do, and I thought this was really a cool thing that a lot of other people that also took the course that they got to do. You can sign up to go ride along with a police officer
Really?
for like a 2 to 4 hours or more, you can sign up. And I just had a lot of things going on with my job, and I just didn't get a chance to sign up. Every time I thought that it was going to be a good time for me, it didn't work out. But
That's you right in the front seat?
yeah, absolutely.
I went in the back seat.
No, don't want to be in the back seat. Absolutely.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you went through it and came to tell us about it, because I think a lot of people out there would be interested to know, how you felt about it, how things turned out, because it's well worth your time, and you learned a lot and you understand the police organization better.
Understand how hard it is to do their job and actually to solve crimes. And it's not as easy to solve a crime as you think it is.
Okay, well, give Kaylin Matthews out there at the Nelson County Sheriff's Department a call. A guy that got a web page as well, so if you can go to their web page, check that out. Sign up for the next class, and you might come away, and after you get done, we'll be like Lynn. You can come in here and tell us your experience and what you think about it. So, well, Lynn, thank you for coming in here today. We appreciate you doing this, and glad you more well informed now, and you can. I'm sure it's going to affect you in other ways probably you don't even know about when you're dealing with situations now, dealing with them a little differently than than you dealt with them before. I know you deal with little kids, so it's not nearly the criminal element, but you still have to deal with a lot of parents and situations that a lot of us don't have to deal with when you're dealing with the public.
Right, exactly. And I appreciate your having me on to talk about it. Hope that people out there take advantage of the opportunity, because I don't know very many opportunities there are out there to do things like this.
All right, Lynn Potter here. She's normally with the Family Resource Center up at Foster Heights and Cox's Creek, but she's with us today to talk about her graduation from the Nelson County Citizens Police Academy. And again, if you want to find out more about it, give them a call at the Nelson County Sheriff's Office, or just check out their webpage, and maybe you too could be a part of it. Stick around, a lot more to come here on Community Focus, Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back.